Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid!
Welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's the barber to the stars, Hollywood Pete McGilvery. Well, we have another great show for you tonight, but first we have to mention our great sponsor, Dante's Pizzeria. 415 Harvard Street tonight. He brought the ziti.
Delicious.
Brought the eggplant.
The eggplant ziti.
Try the eggplant.
And you have to enjoy that after
The
the show.
eggplant palm.
Pete was lucky enough to just get here in 7 seconds before the show starts because
It was early tonight.
he's Hollywood Pete. So we start now. You know, you guys have been to funerals before, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and usually,
Of all shapes and sizes.
yeah, usually people say good things
Yeah,
after
sure.
someone's died. I mean, some people are dicks, and no one has a good word to say, and it's a very short funeral. All right, so Pablo is dead in the world of right. So we've had a lot of great athletes right here in Boston
Sure
sports.
have, yeah.
But would you consider that Pablo Sandoval the most despicable, disgusting, deplorable?
Least likely to be
Least
missed.
likely, and that's just the D's. That's just the letter D's.
yeah.
Athletes that we've had in this town.
You mean because he didn't hit?
Didn't field. Didn't
Despicable
throw.
and deplorable are in there?
Disgusting.
Underperforming.
Didn't.
No.
Disgusting.
He admitted he couldn't keep himself in shape.
Didn't want to get. Once he signed the contract, he had given up. Right. He signed a $90 million deal, and he decided that was a lottery ticket.
It's
Kurt
bad.
Schilling, part two. Steal the money.
And the Red Sox, you know that was planned, on a Friday night against the Yankees, when they come off the All-Star break, that's when they get rid of Pablo, right? It was brilliant.
They dumped him, and they dumped him on a Friday night.
Right. And it's cost the Red Sox in so many levels. And we right now have the Devin Marrero, Brock Holt show.
Because of it.
And they've been playing pretty good ball since.
Can you admit right now that Brock Holt is finished as a player?
Why do you say that? He had an RBI last night.
Oh my God. Pete.
He had a nice stretch.
Russ, please,
he stretched
Russ.
out a single to a double the other night.
Oh my God.
Everything that they're missing, he's doing.
Really? Oh my God.
Everything that they're missing, he's doing.
You just love 150 if it comes from Brock Holt, right? Brock Holt is done.
It's a
Brock
quality
Holt-
150.
Why we are sitting here in July, and Brock Holt is our starting third baseman is
Who should be then?
what's that? Well, first of all, Travis Shaw should be there, right?
Okay, but
Second
but
of
that's
all,
not going to happen.
No,
so who
Rafael
should be?
Devers should be called up.
I'm with him. I mean, it pains me to admit, but I
He
think
just got called up to
I
Pawtucket,
think you
didn't he?
give him.
Yeah, but it's baseball.
If you get a guy,
Devers has got to
costs
learn
you-
to play the position
get it.
first.
No, Devers has been playing third base all of his life.
Yeah, Devin Marrero has been playing third base. He doesn't know the position.
Look, I think the
Since when
thing
is
to
that a
do is
prerequisite?
you gotta get, sure, give Devers another 50 at bats in AAA. Get somebody up here who won't cost you a lot. Maybe you try Holt for 10 games or something like that. But we cannot go on watching Devin Marrero, who hits 190, who can't bunt. When's the last 190 hitter in Major League Baseball?
That
Who literally,
can't bunt.
he cannot bunt the ball.
Yeah.
They gave him 3 shots at a critical situation last night, and this is not the first time this has happened.
Oh, yeah.
We've been watching this time and time again for the
But
last
he's what
3
they
weeks.
have.
He's what they have. I understand that. So, but you got to do better than that. We cannot be looking at this stuff for the next 4 months.
So
You don't win a World Series.
No, but
with-
so do you come in with the kid who maybe isn't quite there yet? It's a lot. It's a lot.
But it's baseball. Baseball is baseball. He's in Pawtucket. Why isn't he at these at bats at the major league
there's
level?
just as many stories that guys
There
come
are.
up too
Blake
soon.
Swihart, for
Right.
example.
But
Pete-
Jackie,
for Pete.
yeah.
Okay,
Great
but
example,
for every
Joe.
one of those guys, I can give you a guy who worked out.
Right.
Mookie worked.
Mookie, yeah.
Right? Andrew Benintendi worked.
Right.
Yeah.
Moncada didn't. Jackie Bradley Jr. had
Yeah,
trouble.
so you got to figure out if he's the
He's
right
like 50-50.
kind
And
of
if you
guy.
decide that he's got that maturity and he
Right.
can handle it, then I'm with Scott. There's no stop. Just bring him up.
But they know him. They've been with him. Wouldn't
And
they
they've
know
been
that?
keeping
And
him
wouldn't
down.
he be
and
here?
we will see.
if he had that
probably within the
makeup?
next 10 to 12 games, we will see.
Because these games are important.
Now, they
They're
did not-
losing games
let's
right
put it
now
this
that if
way.
they had a productive third baseman, they'd be winning.
Evidence that they may be thinking of bringing him up is they didn't trade for Todd Frazier last night. They didn't want to give up key prospects
Well,
for
yeah,
Todd
but those
Frazier.
two relievers are what I would have liked Robertson
They
and
would have
the
given up a ton for
fireballer.
him, wouldn't they?
For Robertson, they would have had to give up a lot.
They,
but
they
you
don't
could have just
him.
traded
They
for
can't
Frazier.
take too much more off the shelf, can they? though?
Exactly. They
But
don't
you
have
could
that
have
many
just gotten
prospects.
Plus,
Frazier.
Robertson is Brookline zone in a way. He's
Oh, is that right? Yeah. But
so you
relatives
could
on
have-
Lancaster Terrace.
You could have just gotten Frazier.
of course he knows the street.
You could have just gotten Frazier, and they chose not to do that. Meaning they either feel like they've got Devers or they got Plan B on a trade market. But something's got to change. They know they can't go with Devin Marrero. You're not going to win a World Series with Devin Marrero playing third base.
No, and
Does
and
everyone
and
agree with
now-
that?
Right.
A
and
double
now's
A
the time.
player at best.
Yeah, right. But a guy who doesn't even really give much of an effort to. That's what I never
Well,
understand.
hang on.
They
I don't
must
know
think
if it's
it's
not
someone
effort.
else.
He clearly
doesn't
does
look
not have
like
the
it.
skill.
No, he doesn't.
Effort, I don't know effort, but skill, he doesn't have.
I know, but I want the guys, the fringe players, and I've always had a problem
Like
with
Brock
this.
At least
Holt.
have
to
that-
run through the
Like
wall
Brock
for you.
Holt.
Yeah, have that fake
so
hustle.
true.
Fake
It's
hustle.
exactly
Right,
what
and then he
you're
ran
saying.
through a wall, and now he
He
has
got a
vertigo.
concussion.
But maybe it's exactly what you're saying. You know, let's see what we have with Brock. I mean, he obviously has a problem. Let's see what we have with him because they want to plug something in there, and they might think that they have something else other than Frazier out there.
Maybe.
That's
Yeah.
available.
And they got
that
2
they
more
don't have to
weeks.
give up too much
That's
for.
right.
But Pete, we have too many average and below average players right now who offensively. And this is what look.
Well,
No
they're
one's
not
arguing
deep.
with
They're
you.
not deep. That's no secret. They're not deep.
Yeah, but you have to do something. You also have to infuse some new energy into this team, some excitement. And what does a young player always do? That brings that energy to
know,
Yeah,
Maybe,
kicks
but-
the veterans in the butt.
Maybe, but if everyone's looking for that from this kid and he doesn't provide it, now you've got
Right, you have the
9
Moncada
strikeouts in 2 games.
You know what we said last night? You'd appreciate this, Pete. We need a hockey fight. Somebody needs to drop the gloves,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
just shake this team up. Because right
Yeah.
now, we don't have guys like Johnny Gomes, Ken Millar, big personality,
Personality
character
guys.
guys who, when they
Yeah.
when they need a jolt of energy, we don't have it. So it's got to come from somewhere. Poppy's not walking through the door.
No.
And the guy is Sale, but he only plays every.
He plays
4
every-
days, so.
They just
Right.
they're punching the clock right now, and
And they
that's it.
missed an opportunity. JBJ, I don't know if you saw that this weekend against the Yankees. He went,
Oh, what a nice game.
slid back to second base. Didi Gregorius, I don't know if he stepped on his hand. He did something with his hand.
was punking him.
Right. And Bradley was aggravated, but this would have been the perfect time to slug little skinny little shortstop in the face
Just
and get things
chest
started.
to chest with him and
Right.
say, "What are you doing here?"
You step on a guy's
We're
hand,
just
that's
not
time to
seeing
fight, right?
Everyone's happy.
Well, I mean, it is baseball.
Look at you!
Come on.
All you do is Cam Neely. Cam Neely, if Didi Gregorius had looked at him
Well,
wrong,
I
was
agree
going.
with- I appreciate all that too, but I mean, I'm saying I don't know who's going to do it on this team.
It's a great question.
But do you agree that it's important?
Look at Pedroia is the most fiery
Especially
guy on the
having
team.
a
He
punk
didn't do
rookie
anything.
do it to you.
Right, but
When
Pedroia
they
is
happened to
3
him,
feet tall.
when they
What
threw
is
at
he?
him.
He can't fight anyone. And especially if you're watching ESPN, apparently he has small hands.
Yeah.
He has small everything. Thank you, ESPN.
No, but I mean, but I'm saying his personality is such that he competes. And
right,
that's
but
what we
he's
like.
not the guy who's going to get into
Why
a fight.
not?
Because he's too small. He's got the crap kicked
So
out of
what?
him.
Moreland's going to do something? I don't know. I don't see
Moreland's
that.
a big guy, right?
I don't see
Christian
it.
Vasquez while he's in between striking out.
You know, like Pasternak doesn't get in the fight. It's Thornton, it's Neely. It's
Right, but there's
your
no,
enforcer
there's
that
no
comes and does
Veritek
it.
on this team.
Yeah, Pete's making a great point. By the way, I'm just trying to mentally go around the whole
Right.
team in my head, and there are no intimidating physical presences.
Well, guys, you don't
Half
become a
the
Veritek until you do something
Right.
to
Yeah,
get that
but half the
reputation. You're
reason
going to
for
get
that-
into a fight.
Half the reason for that is because the roster is so young, and they're not there yet.
I think that's another good point by Pete. Pete's making some good points.
I know he's look, Sandy Leone, Christian Vasquez. You get the big
making all
catches.
the-
Pete's making sense tonight. Pete's making sense
Pete
tonight.
always makes sense, except I can't believe the whole fighting thing.
let's
Jeez,
just-
you
no.
got soft.
Pete wins this debate. Pete wins this debate. Let's move on.
Oh, all right, okay. All right,
next,
so
next.
do you guys, all right, you know, we were all
Maybe we
around.
can just do it like that.
we were all around in the 1970s, right? And you remember the miniseries, The Thornbirds and Roots?
Yep.
It was, those things were so long, they had to put them over a course of weeks, right? Well, right now, it's called the Red Sox game.
Oh, my God.
Right? Literally, last night and many nights since then. Oh, my God. You want to answer that?
I thought I shut that off.
It's probably Sam
sorry.
Horn.
I think it's Sam Horn.
I mean, these games are lasting 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
Tell me, other than people who are pretty much infirmed, who
Right.
can watch a game like that?
People with a lot of free time on their hands.
Right.
Seriously.
Night
it is.
watchman.
And it's,
Right,
but,
exactly.
but that means it's retirees, it's people who don't have to work in the morning. Like, that's the problem with baseball is that
Bad demographics for the advertisers.
Really
That's
bad
why you're
demographics
losing,
for
you lose people
advertisers.
too in these games. You do. You lose them.
absolutely.
But also, it's an attitude. You're not going to go and watch the third inning when you know you can pick the game up in an hour or two in the
Everyone
sixth
who
inning.
went to that 4 o'clock game had dinner reservations.
Yeah.
That's a
And
great
For later in the
That's a
evening.
great
most
point.
people
They
that are
couldn't
watching
stand
that into the
safety till 11
15th inning
o'clock.
is saying, geez, when's the NFL on again?
And as a
Football gonna
sport,
be-
I need an IV when I'm watching it at home. Last night I needed double IVs.
Yeah, well, we're at
I
the
mean,
game.
it was, these are they're just too long, and doesn't it feel like Major League Baseball is just reaching some sort of a tipping point here? They're gonna be forced to have to make a change after this year.
As a sports fan and as a attender, as you know, attending these games, will you be happy leaving a game and not seeing the end result? Will that be just kind of the norm of when you attend a Red Sox game with the idea you know you're not going to stay to the ninth inning?
Well, I don't mind hearing the finish on the car
Okay, but I'm
radio on
saying,
the way
is
home.
that going to be an acceptable rule?
I just think that the game isn't changing with the fans. In other words, the red zone kind of changed everything in the NFL. And Major League Baseball wants to stay true to the game, and everyone kind of does to a degree. But however, the fan base doesn't have the patience for, this type of.
Good point, Pete, because the NFL's fans have changed from being football fans to fantasy football fans.
Right.
And the NFL is giving it to them now. And every rule change
They're adjusting
and every
to the
programming
fan.
change is dedicated to
They're
that.
adjusting to the money.
Will they adjust the rules during the course of the season?
No, the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
The fans are speaking. The fans in Major League Baseball are speaking, and Red Sox ratings are down 20%. Red Sox ratings are down 20%, and we're in first place.
First place,
Right,
Yeah, right.
So the fans are speaking. Let's see if Major League Baseball does anything to react.
Yeah,
Put a
but, I
pitch
mean,
clock in there.
yeah, I
stop
mean-
them from stepping out. Stop the foolish visits to the mound. You don't have to change the fundamentals of the game to take some time off at the margins.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
we'll see what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to see a runner on second in the 12th inning or something like that yet. But they've started with the intentional walk thing. That's a good thing. That moves it along a little.
A teeny bit. That's
Yeah,
just a
maybe
but that's
once every
But
couple
for
of
the
games.
for Major
you
League
say
Baseball,
5
it's a big
seconds.
thing.
No, you're right. That's a great point. But let's start being a little more receptive to the whole idea that we could have ties. Ties would not kill anyone. We were talking 12th inning. At the end of the 12th inning,
You'd be playing for the tie then, some teams, in some situations.
well, I mean, how are you playing for the tie? Everyone's just trying to score a run.
They do anyways in extra inning
Yeah.
games.
What do you mean playing for the tie? I don't even understand what.
Well,
what that,
depends
how would that
You-
look? What would that
if
look?
you were the road team, you'd be bringing in your closer to close out
Yeah.
the 10th inning, say.
If you're only going to get
preserve
1
the
point
tie.
or something.
Well, no,
to
if the game's the
maintain-
12th inning and you would have
Yeah.
already used your closer by then,
Yeah, I mean, it's a
it
good
wouldn't
question.
change your rule.
The
Maybe not the road team. The road team would.
The question you have to ask is what is the implication on the behavior of the guys in the team? Now, batters, I would imagine every single batter who ever gets up, who's ever gotten up in Major League history wants to do well in that at bat. Right?
Yeah,
Their whole career is based on stringing these bats together. But Pete's point about, or Joe's point about when you bring your relievers in, it could get a little funky, so they need to think that through.
Look, after the 12th inning, you're using the end of the bench relief
Anyways,
pitchers.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
you use-
position players sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not saving. Kimbrel's never going to pitch the 13th inning of any game ever.
And at the end of the day, you're not seeing a whole, I don't know what the stats are, but you're not seeing a lot of 13, 15 inning games.
Well,
we are in this
we're
week.
seeing
The problem
it.
is, it's also just it's the pace of the game.
Yeah.
Right?
It seems to
Carl
slow down.
Willis comes out for no apparent reason last night. They're playing tequila on the PA system. Like that's going to somehow make it feel like it's going faster. I got to look at Carl Willis moving his fat, you know what, out to the mound.
And covering his mouth as if Carl Willis has anything good to say.
Nobody cares anymore what he
It's
says.
like the NSA
It's not a
somehow-
secret, Carl.
Somehow bugged the meeting at the pitcher's mound. The guy goes up and breaks it. It's another 30 seconds to everyone gets settled in, and you just now stole a minute from my life.
Right? And
Right.
you're not getting it back.
Yeah,
And you
You're
play
trying to get on the
tequila
highway at
over and
this
over
point.
again.
Yeah, right.
Seriously, so that's just it. You know, it just is a turnoff.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so I know a lot of people are complaining about the Red Sox are in first place.
A lot of people?
A
A lot of people.
Well,
No,
all of
no,
us.
no, I'm looking at right now.
You're the only one that complains
No,
about
that's
them in
not
the
true.
first
People
place.
say they're a boring team,
Yeah.
right?
I am. I gotta
This
admit,
is
yes.
entertainment. The Red Sox are entertainment, and they're saying they're boring. What? How is that a good reflection
They're
of the team?
a very listless team.
Listless now. Listless. It sounds like someone who died. They were listless, and then they died.
Their offense seems to have died since the All-Star break.
The Red Sox have pneumonia. I mean, what?
but
They're
they're-
not exciting.
But they're in first place.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
A
They're
lot
in
of
first.
teams that are exciting would like to be in first place.
I know, but I'm just.
They're treading water. They're playing 500 since.
But I just
break.
want to tell everybody, all Red Sox fans, the Red Sox are an average team.
Yeah.
That's who they are. That they're in first place just happens to be happenstance.
Because everybody else is so mediocre.
yeah, look at Tampa Bay's in second place. They're a
I
terrible
know, Tampa
team.
Bay. Who was on that team besides Longoria? Anybody?
Right, they're a terrible team. So they just have lower standards for the Red Sox. The Red Sox aren't going to win the World Series this year.
Not with Devin Marrero playing third
No,
base.
they're not. They're not. They're a team that's still developing. They have great young players, but we are a year or two away. Would you
could be
agree?
Right. You could
Oh
be
yeah,
right.
and Houston looks very, very.
We have a
strong.
pitching staff that could win the World Series. The starting pitching staff.
Yeah, but if
And a
everybody
closer.
else is so mediocre, why can't they?
Yeah, but Houston's not mediocre.
Los Angeles
right,
Dodgers
the
are
Dodgers.
going to
I'm
win
getting
like
that.
120
I'm getting
games.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be like going against the Cavs.
But you said something last night, which I think is right, is that this just has the look of a team that even if it makes the playoffs, is going out in the first or the second round, just because they can't hit the ball and they can't hit.
Good,
They
bad
can-
pitching, good pitching will
Right.
eat them up.
It's going to
It's
feel
gonna
like
be
last year.
Yeah.
That team last year was not ready for prime time in the playoffs.
No.
It's like the Celtics.
Right, exactly. Right. And Todd Frazier's of the world are not going to change this team.
No.
They really should not make
The
any.
one thing that could happen, and we talked about this, and look, I'm down on him. He was my guy last year, but this year not. Hanley's the one guy in that team who could get just unnaturally hot and carry your team for 20 games. He has that ability. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but he does have that.
But he doesn't
Not
have the
only that-
attitude.
He's
No,
the
no, but
loafer
he
on the
does
team.
have the personality to do what
He does.
we all
He's a
want.
wild card.
Right.
But he's a wild card because we just don't know what package we
Exactly
get.
right.
Like, it's hard to watch him run out of ball in Peoria back to back. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
But the guy who doesn't get much criticism and, like you said, gets a free pass in this town, and you know he's my favorite player, and I love him.
Xander.
But Xander is, and I hate to admit this, I feel like I'm in some kind of anonymous meeting. He is a very average player, and has been a very average player for over a year now. And as you
And
would say,
he's
Joe,
good.
he doesn't kill the job.
No, he's going into his summer funk a little early this year. It seems.
Well, I said, I hope that this last swoon is because of an injury, and of course, he's getting
He
an
did
MRI.
get hit by the ball.
He
Today.
looks like
Tampa.
he's taking he looks like he's taking his right hand off the bat a second too soon. I'm not pretending to be a coach, but he just looks different.
He gives up a lot of at-bats. He gives up a lot of up at-bats. He's happy with a bloop single.
Yeah, he's not looking to drive the ball off the wall. And that's the big difference between him and Mookie. You see Mookie up, and Mookie's looking to drive every single pitch he gets. Every pitch he gets, he's looking to drive somewhere. He's like Nomar like that,
All right, boys, so we love trade rumors here on the Grandstanders. I know this is a crazy one. I want you to just think this deeply because I love this player. Donaldson from the Blue Jays, who's MVP,
Troubled
third
pass.
baseman.
Yeah.
Well, we all have trouble pass, Joe. For Xander right now.
Yeah, but what would you have to give up for Donaldson?
Xander.
For Xander.
Xander straight
you
up
still
for
have
Don-
your problem, though, don't you?
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Well, now
Third
you have a
base?
shortstop.
Now the
Right?
whole
you
left
know,
side
shit,
is
Here's
the problem.
yeah,
Well,
I
you
don't
get
know.
a shortstop.
You keep bringing this trade up, and it's just beyond me. They have a guy. We spent 5 minutes talking about bring the 20-year-old phenom third baseman up.
You can get
Right?
short. You
We're
can always
talking
get
about that,
shortstops.
right?
You can always get shortstops.
Like Julio Lugo, Edgar Renteria.
No,
We
you
have
get like a
one
D.G.
shortstop.
Gregorius.
What are you
I love
talking
that
about?
name.
We have
He's going to play short now. He's
What's that?
No.
No.
Where are we
He
going
thinks
with
go
this?
get
Marrero's
another
gonna be-
Just go get a
So then
shortstop.
we have 2 third basemen and no shortstop.
What's that?
And by the way, I'm not a huge Sander
Where's
fan, but this
Devers?
trade is
Devers
insane.
gonna play? Devers, Devers. Where's he gonna play?
Well, we have Donaldson. We'll worry about that later. We have a guy
You
who's
wanted
made
him up yesterday.
What's that?
You wanted Devers
So what are you
up
going to put
yesterday.
Marrero at short?
What's that?
You can put Marrero at short?
That would work
You
out
still
really
have
well.
him.
Why don't we just leave Brock alone?
And,
You
it'll
can
all work out.
shortstops. Good fielding
Let me ask you
shortstops are a
question.
dime a
Let me ask
dozen.
you a question, Mr. Dombrowski.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, make that trade. You put Brock Holt at shortstop for the next 2 years? Because that's
No.
probably the best shortstop in the system. I swear to God.
you go
Look
out and
at the
get
Reds.
somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, because those shortstops, good hitting, good fielding shortstops, grow on trees. It took us 10 years to find one.
No, you get an exceptionally good fielding shortstop and
Who can hit, and then you're going to be riding that guy up and down.
Not
every
if he's a
single
good
night.
fielder. No, I won't, because I have
So
Donaldson
you'd rather
hitting
have
40
Donald-
home runs in Fenway
So
Park.
at the end of the day, you'd rather have Donaldson than Bogarts. Period.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. For the
Wow,
future.
you're on team
want some
Donaldson.
power,
You're,
is
Yeah,
what
team
you're-
Don-
Where's
oh,
Donaldson?
you're not?
You're not on. You're,
You don't
you're,
like
you're
that
so,
player?
I just want to wait. I just need to understand. You're off of Xander.
I am off of Xander.
You're
He,
out.
he loves everyone in
I
Toronto.
love Xander,
Wow.
but I'm off him. No, because I hate guys who don't give an effort, and I've seen a lot of non-effort. And he lollygagged a throw this weekend where he went high and he just gave absolutely no effort on the throw.
The error
Okay,
there.
I don't understand that.
Let
Xander.
New York back in
what
the
else
game.
you got better to do? A ball's been hit to you. You can't give an effort to throw it to first base. Something's up with him. Maybe it's being from Aruba. I never liked that in the first place.
Xander got on your
Well,
bad
you know, it's
side.
interesting because I thought Xander was the anointed one, that was going to
Exactly.
take over. Now all of a sudden it seems to be kind of imploding in on him.
When Mookie came and took over the mantle of Phenom,
All-star.
Xander has kind of faded ever since.
In the hierarchy, it was then became Betts and Xander. Now Benintendi came up, and we know it's Betts and Benintendi.
Benintendi
And
and
I will
Xander.
argue with you, when you have good JBJ, and that's what we have right now, exceptional fielder, hitting well, that JBJ is third.
Yeah, no, I agree. That outfield feels like a little sort of gang, right?
Right.
And you can see like enjoy playing with each other. They're having fun. They're playing well. I mean, that Bradley catch. Can we just say take a moment on that Bradley catch? the
He
other
made
night?
it look easy.
That was
Made it
unbelievable.
look
Have you
simple.
ever seen?
You don't think that was a great catch?
I think it was a
And-
great.
and
I
he
don't
was
think
throwing.
Wait a minute now. Just want to say, I
Wow,
know
he doesn't
No,
like
no.
JBJ.
I know
I
he doesn't.
do.
What's up with that?
Brock Holt would have made that a better catch.
He would have made it look better.
Brock would have fallen into the bullpen and got another concussion.
Exactly.
Look, I think the guy's terrific. I think he's a A+1 outfielder. But that particular catch, I know he took a home run away from a Yankee, and that's always a great thing. But honestly, guys, for JBJ, that didn't look too spectacular to me.
Okay, no, Pete, that's one of the greatest catches I've ever seen at Fenway Park. I've never seen a catch at that exact spot.
So graceful and so.
But,
and-
but jumping on that
I've seen
high.
foul balls that were better catches than
No,
that.
no. You know, 420 feet, go stand out there in Fenway Park, which I have in that warning track.
Yeah.
That sight line, that is so far away from home plate to pick that ball up.
you have
Look,
to
I'm
take
not
it
saying-
5 seconds before and 5 seconds after.
Pete, you lost this argument.
Yeah, but I didn't finish.
No. That was, and the fact it was against the Yankees, it was a key moment of the game. I mean, we're not talking about it.
All that, I'm giving you all that. But
Yeah.
I'm saying to meet me where JBJ has done spectacular looking
I
catches.
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a great catch. He reached over and brought it back, and he reached over a long way and brought it back. It was a spectacular
But banged
catch.
in.
I think I know what Pete's saying, and he moved with unbelievable efficiency. He made it look like
He made it
nothing.
look
He
easy.
made it look incredibly
Yeah.
graceful. And most guys can't even get to that ball much, get a glove on that ball. But so I see where you're going.
I mean, I've seen spectacular catches from Trout and Yastrzemski even against Tommy
Freddie
Trash and guys, Freddie Lynn, that just were defied gravity. This was a spectacular catch. However, he made it look routine. It would be spectacular if Benintendi did it.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is that there was no center field in the history of Red Sox that would have made that play other than JBJ.
Oh,
Fred Lynn
Coco
could
was
have made
pretty
that
good.
play.
What's that?
Coco used to get a good jump on the ball too.
Yeah, God.
He got a great
Yoko was
jump on that
nice.
ball.
Oh my
It was
God.
like he knew where that ball was hit before it was even hit.
Yeah, it was a great play because of the bead that he got on that ball.
Yes,
And
The
that was
path
when
he
I'll
took
agree
to
to
it.
that.
Oh, everything was
the
perfect.
bead that he got on the ball was just something.
And he was so far ahead of the the play that he was already
Right.
reaching into his glove to make the throw as he was pulling it back
And
over
it's
the
almost
fence.
like when you see something go out there, you pretty much say, "Oh,
He's gonna
He's
get
gonna
it.
That was an extraordinary catch, even had he played left field and jumped on the green monster to catch that. But now talk about 120 feet further out that he needs to go and then make that catch. It's one of the greatest catches of all time. And if Cam Neely had made it, it would have been one of the greatest catches of all
Would have
time.
been one of the greatest hits.
So we go to the Boston Celtics for we got to grade the offseason, guys, because everybody seems to be doing that this week. And it's an A+. I don't know what these people are saying C, B, and stuff. We acquired one of the top 20 players in the NBA for nothing.
A+,
That's
though?
an A+, yes.
I give it. I give it a 90. I mean, he gets an A-, just barely above. Because there's the only reason. And by the way, I don't say it's his fault because Indiana made a stupid trade, but you had an opportunity in a very small window of time to add another star, still getting under the cap, and he couldn't pull it off. Not totally his fault, right? But
But it
did
was
not.
there.
It was there. One of those guys, Butler, George, was there for him. That didn't happen. That's the only reason why I wouldn't give him an A+.
Yeah,
Everything else-
I agree wholeheartedly, and they should have. And they didn't give up nothing for Hayward. Now they're up against it in the salary cap because
I know.
the way the timing went. So then now they've kind of hamstrung themselves.
Yeah, I think
they
it's
can't
an
go out and get anyone
A+
now.
if it's your A plan, and I don't think that was their plan A move.
Well, I think things worked
It was
out
damn
really
good,
well.
yeah.
They worked out really well.
Yeah.
I give them. They
They're a
worked
better
out,
team,
It's an
yes.
A-.
You're just a
They worked
really
out
good
really
grade.
well.
Yeah.
Right.
Great
Yeah, if
inflation.
I was a professor, there'd be no test and stuff.
I wonder what
just like-
Governor Dukakis would have given him.
Probably an A+.
A+,
But he sure wouldn't give him on the Travis Shaw deal.
No.
Oh my God, I know. The only person more bitter about the Travis Shaw deal than me is Governor Michael Dukakis. All right, so your grades, Joe.
I give them a B on it because the team is definitely better than it was last year at this time, and better than it was at the end of the playoffs. But they left something on the table, like Russ was saying.
I think B+. I think that Hayward is a great addition, but for some reason I just feel like he was always there. I know that's not true. I just feel like he was all there, so
Right.
it didn't have the boffo,
Like
to
they
make
made
it
an
A-
acquisition.
To make it
It was
an
like
an
he
A.
was always
Yeah,
there.
no, I think in most leagues it would have been a slam dunk, but we see in the NBA it's
I'm
always a
not crazy.
surprise. It's like, he signed with who?
And I don't know about the kid from Detroit. I don't think he's going to be as great as.
Yeah, he's just a 10-minute, 15-minute banger type. You know, we like those guys though. They
You
seem
need
to
them.
play roles.
You need those guys.
Yeah.
You need them to win.
So we have to talk a little bit of the finally of the Patriots. They're starting.
excited, Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Show's
Training
done
camp,
here.
yeah.
I'm pretty
Guys
sure.
are already there,
He's charting.
waiting.
He's charting offensive line play already.
And Joe, you start sleeping at Gillette Stadium right in front for the first.
Certainly. Why do you think I'm on sick leave? I can be there every day.
Yeah, right, exactly. Joe's there. And all right, so it's all gonna be about Jimmy G.
Oh, God.
It's all gonna be about Jimmy G. You can guarantee that is going to be 90% of the
Can't
stories.
do this anymore.
I'm just telling you, it's a tsunami, and the tsunami is coming. It's quiet now, but the Jimmy G tsunami is coming.
This is to me. I can't get.
It's the most interesting story of the Patriots
You
right
have
now.
the best quarterback that ever played football, ever. He's
right,
on
I'm
your
not-
team.
right.
He's still starting, and he's still really good. And you want to lead with Jimmy G as a threat to Tom Brady. I just can't get.
But
my
I'm just
arms
telling you,
around it.
that's the storyline. What do you think?
That's
No,
your
it's
storyline.
only a story. I hear it. It's only a storyline if Brady doesn't play up to par. It's not a storyline if Brady plays the
No,
football we expect him to play.
No, it's
He's
very interesting
carrying
because he's up on a
hey,
contract. Will you
Your
keep him?
story is carrying a clipboard.
No,
Yes.
that's not true. Because look, if
No,
you remember,
Jacoby's got to carry the clipboard.
look,
Oh,
when
all
Joe
right.
Montana and Steve Young, with that whole situation, when Steve Young was carrying a clipboard, that was a huge storyline.
Yeah.
On the season for the 49ers.
So Jimmy G is Steve Young.
Well,
What's
Steve
that?
Young
But
is-
he's our Steve Young. Right now, we don't know how he could develop.
So he's Aaron Rodgers,
You've
Steve Young,
gone-
and Jimmy Garoppolo.
You've gone
We're in that
full
group.
Jimmy G.
No,
Team
it's-
Jimmy
it
G.
is
This
Jimmy
is
G.
scary.
Steve Young had played like a whole
I'm
season.
frightened. You've lost your perspective.
Look, I'm just
He
thinking
might
about the
lose his
future.
job to Jacoby.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
By the way, that's a
Jacoby.
good point. Who
Yeah.
says
That's not
that
a good point at all.
Who
It's a
says
terrible
Jacoby
point. Jacoby
Jacoby.
Exactly.
Number 3 on the depth chart.
Who says that Jacoby couldn't beat him out? I think Pete's got
On this team, he
Yeah,
very
Bill
easily
Parcells
could
goes
beat
to a
him.
recommendation.
I'm on Team Jacoby.
Team
Why not?
Okay, good, because I'm on Team Brady. That works out
Brady
great.
sits
We got you back. We got you back to where you're supposed
Look, I'm
to
always
be.
making adjustments, just like the NFL.
like Major
All right,
League
we gotta go. Gotta thank the boys. Gotta thank everyone behind the scenes. Of course, the lovely and talented Adrian and handsome Todd. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. See, now I can be on Team Brady. Host Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.